Hello students, in this video I am going to discuss the bubble sort using object passing and array passing through function mechanism. Alright, I want you all to please do watch my previous video of bubble sort. The link you may find in the comment section. Alright, that's very important for you to understand it better. Now students, here I'll give you a brief introduction to the bubble sort. In this technique we sort the given data elements, means either you call it data items or data elements, in descending order or ascending order by comparing two adjacent elements at a time and placing them in the correct position. Alright, means you can always sort the data either in ascending order or descending order, and technique here we are going to discuss is the bubble sort. So here students, if the first element is bigger than the next one, that means they are in the wrong order for the ascending order. If the first element is smaller than the next element, if it is we are going to sort the data in the descending order, then we have to change the order. All right, so how does it work? We let's understand with one example. So students, here you see that we have got the data 75, 70, 73, 55 and 5, and the same data I have displayed in the array also, because ultimately we have to sort the data of the array. All right, and these are the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here you can see that 75, which is available at index 0, is bigger than the data of the index 1, that is 70. So we perform what? Swapping. For swapping, what we do, we first we have a third variable, so here you can see I've written a piece of code so that you could have a better idea of all these things. So condition here, as I've said, that 75 is bigger than 70, or the element available at location number 0 is bigger than element available at the location number 1. So the condition is if AR of 0 is bigger than AR of 1. So we perform swapping. I told you that we need a third variable, so temp is a variable here, and I have copied AR of 0 to temp. What happens? 75, which is available at AR of 0, has been copied to temp also. Means this 75 has been saved in the temp. Now we can copy the data of the AR of 1. How we can do that? By just writing this statement. So I have written AR of 0 equal to AR of 1. That's a very important thing, that never write AR of 1 equal to AR of 0 here, okay? Because we are copying the data of AR of 1 to AR of 0. So now you can see that data of AR of 1, that was 70, has been copied to AR of 0. Now 70 has got its proper position. Now what is required to be done? Now 75 has to be transferred to AR of 1. So for that, students, we have got the third step here of the swapping process, and that is AR of 1 equals to temp. So as a result of that, the data which is saved, that was of earlier AR of 0, that is saved inside the temp, has been copied to AR of 1. Now you can see the data has been interchanged. AR of 0 is having 70 and AR of 1 is having 75. So after that, students, this you close this curly brace. So this is what you have to perform every time we perform the comparison. If the condition is true, then we have to perform the swapping. So the key idea was to perform comparison, and then if the condition is satisfied, we have to swap the data if they are in the wrong order. It is as it is given in the concept just now I told you. Now how do we continue with this process? Now 75 will be compared with 73, so this is bigger 75, so we swap, so 73 and 75 like this. Now 75 will be compared with 55, so again the condition is true, means 75 is bigger than its next element, so we perform swapping. Now 75 will be compared with 5. Right, after that what happens? Again the condition is true, so 5 will be here and 75 is here. So you can see the largest element has finally reached its destination. Students, if you look at it in terms of comparison, so you will say index 0 will be compared with index 1, index 1 element compared with index 2, index 2 has been compared with element 3, index 3 data element has been compared with data at the index 4. Means when we are at 3, we have compared data with 4th, and that's it. The process of comparison and swap as of now is over. Alright. So we have to stop our loop, which we are going to write for compare and swap at 3 first time. Right. And how that will be written, I will show you. But you just keep this point in your mind. We have to stop at 3. So collectively all these steps where the biggest data has reached its destination, these steps are known as pass. So this is our first pass, and at the end of the first pass, the largest element has reached its destination. Students, after that we go for the second pass with this data, not the original array. Now the data is like this in the array. Now when we perform, again we start with 0th location, 0 with 1, 1 with 2, 2 with 3, but not with 3 with 4. Right, we have to stop at 2. You can see here, because 75 is already largest, it has got its position, proper position. All right, so we have to just compare the data of index number 2 with 3. So now for the second pass, we have to stop at 2. Always remember that. All right, so this process, at the end of this pass, we get 73, that is the second largest element at its proper position or location. All right, so this is the second pass. Two passes are done. Now we go for the third pass with this data. Now we start the comparison. 0th element has been compared with first index element. The condition is true, so 55 is here, 75 is here. Now 70 with the 5. Now you can see 55 is here and 70 is here. 5 is here and 70 is here. Alright, students. So here you can see, now we will stop at 1. So we are reducing our scope of comparison. Alright. So now the third largest element has found its proper position. Students, after that we go for the fourth pass. Now we compare 0 with 1. So here what happens? Now the fourth largest element has reached its destination. So this is the fourth pass, student. This is the fourth pass. At the end of the fourth pass, you can see the data is sorted. So in the fourth pass, we have stopped at location number 0. So 0th will be compared with the 1. So these things you keep in your mind. So maximum number of passes for any array's data to be sorted are n minus 1 or array length minus 1. Here I have written that, right? The length of the array can be represented through ar dot length. N is just a variable I have told you in case you want to keep, otherwise it's pretty fine to access it through ar dot length. Alright, is that clear? And remember, while writing this, we don't use any index or any square bracket with this, just a plain array name and dot and length. Alright, let's go for the code. So import java.util.asterisk first statement for a scanner, because we need to input the data, and semicolon is a must over here. After that, array declaration. It's not creation, only declaration. It's int type, so int ar square bracket, and we have done it all in a class bsort. The class name is bsort. Remember, it's very important. Now after that, int sz to store the size of the array. Now after that, students, we have a parameterized constructor to initialize sz, which is the size here, with the s, and finally this sz will be kept here in this square bracket in this array creation. So ar equal to new int sz. So this will provide the size to the array. Finally array is ready or created or instantiated. After that, students, here we have public void input. So here 0 to ar dot length minus 1. So that's why I've written less than. So either you write I less than equal to ar dot length minus 1, or you write I less than ar dot length. You can have sz also, so both are fine. So loop, because we have to input the data from 0 to the last location is 4. So if the array length is 5, or the size of the array is 5 as in our example, then it will work from 0 to 4 because less than is there. And then every time we have to increase the index by 1. So here I give the message here, enter data element I plus 1, then ar of I equal to sc dot next int. So the data will be entered here. Alright everyone. After that, students, we have public void display to display the data. We have the same loop as it was for the input, because ultimately we have to display the complete data. So 0 to 4. So the same loop has been written here, right? And then we write system.out.println. So instead of this input statement, this time what do we have? We have system.out.println ar of I. This is a print statement. Students, again I am telling you, if you find you're not getting things clearly for the input and output, so all these things have been given in much detail in my previous video, so please do watch that video. Alright everyone. Now students, after this we go for the loop for bubble sort. So here you can see that I have kept a parameter or argument that is object of the class B sort. I told you, remember the name of the class, that it was B sort. So its object has been passed there as the parameter. It's returning nothing, so public is there, publicly accessible, so public access specifier. Name of the function is bubble underscore sort. So public void bubble underscore sort. This is the bubble underscore sort is the name, and this is the parameter. Now we have to sort the array, right? That is AR, right? We have already declared that, but it is available in OB. So wherever we use AR, students, we have to write OB.AR. Always remember that, right? So here we have variables, loop variable for the passes, I, loop variable for compare and swap, that is J, temp to keep the data or save the data temporarily. So that is a temp variable. This will be required during the swapping. Swapped represents whether the data has been swapped or not. So this is the optimized implementation of the bubble sort I have used here, because if the maximum data is sorted, so it will be done in the lesser time, because when completely the array is sorted, unnecessarily it will not perform the process of bubble sort. It will be stopped once the data is once the array is sorted. All right, students, here you can see the loop for passes. As in the previous example, I always told you that we write array dot length -1. So here OB has to be written, because now the array is inside the OB, that array we are referring to. So OB dot sz -1, or you may write OB dot AR dot length -1. You must be thinking that in the input loop I had written just less than OB dot sz. So student, there I had to enter 5 values, but here I have to perform the loop 1 less than the size of the array. That means if the array is 5, then how many passes are going to be performed? Only 4. Alright, so here we begin with 0, less than 5 is less than 5 if I write. So it will be performed 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that means 5 times. And here I need 4 times. So that is why less than is also required and -1 is also required. And I++ definitely for moving ahead. Swapped is a variable which will be initialized every time before the compare and swap. So that will be initialized with 0. Right. After that, the loop of the compare and swap, J is 0, J less than OB.sz minus I, then -1 and I++. So here students, I told you that when I was performing the compare and swap, so every time I was reducing the scope of comparison by 1. Right. So earlier we were at 3, then we were at 2, then 1. Why? Because when I write, suppose I am performing the first time the compare and swap in the first pass. So OB.z length is 5, 5 minus I is currently 0. So that means there won't be any change, it will be 5. 5 minus 1, that is 4. So finally we get here 4. But when we say less than 4, that means less than 4 means 3. So this is going to work for 0, 1, 2 and 3. I hope it's clear to you all. Right. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So when the value of j reaches to 3, automatically the fourth element is going to be compared, because it is written j plus 1. And if we make it reach at 4, right, automatically it will have the value here 5, and that index does not exist. So array index out of bound error will be there. So that is why we have to write like this, and every time we have to reduce it by 1, our area of comparison and swap. So what do we have here? We have here ob.z minus I minus 1. That's important. Okay. And then the swapping. So here just see the changes. Here I have written ob.z sz minus I minus 1. And here what is the change? ob.arj greater than ob.ar of j plus 1. This is very important because object name has to be written. Now for performing the swapping, the ob.arj has to be written, and that data will be stored in the temp. Then ob.arj equal to ob.arj plus 1. So that will be stored here. Now j plus 1's data will be stored in j. Now ob.ar of j plus 1 equal to temp. Alright, this is swapping is done. Once the swapping is performed, we have to update the value of swapped variable. Now it will be having the value 1. That means the swapping has been performed. Now here the closing of the loop for comparison and swap. Alright, so after this loop, when this loop is over, then we check if the swapping has been done or not. So if the swapping has not been done, then break, right? Is that clear? Otherwise, we will go for, if the swapping is having the value 1, then we'll go for the next pass. Alright, so that is the basic idea of this optimized solution or implementation of the bubble sort. I hope you are getting it clearly, right, students? And here just see, I have called the loop here display to display the sorted data. So ob.display has to be called. Don't write just display. Alright everyone, now how this can be implemented? Students, here you can see that in the main function we create the object. So I have created the object here, bsort obj dot bsort obj equal to new bsort, and 5 has been passed, that is the size as it was in our example. So any other size also you can pass. Students, here we perform the input first, so obj dot input, then obj dot display. After that, students, obj dot bubble sort, and then in the bracket I have passed all the means this object obj. Now its data is to be sorted. So students, I hope it's clear to you. After the data has been sorted, it will be displayed also through that. You can do it this way also, that I have written b sort obj1 equal to new b sort. Size I have given because there was a parameterized constructor. So the array of obj1 is having the size 10. But what we are doing here, we are not using the data member AR or array of obj1. What we are doing, we are passing like this, obj1 dot bubble sort obj. So obj, which is a parameter, its data will be sorted as it was done here. Right, so you can see same object is having the same parameter, means object obj and passing the same object. Okay, here is the parameter. Or you can have a second object, and in that function you can pass the previous object. So whichever way you want to do it, please you may do it. All right, I hope you got the clear idea. Please do execute this program on your system and see the output. Okay, now students, passing the array through a function. So here bubble sort is the name of the function. So public void bubble sort intar square bracket. So you can see kind of function overloading we are having here, right? But I will be showing you a separate member function for main function for this. So you can see the three variables, I, that is for loop for passes, this is for j, that is for the loop for compare and swap, and temp to store the data temporarily while swapping is being performed, and swapped is the fourth one, which is representing whether data has been swapped or not. Right, I've already discussed about it. Now students, here the loop for passes. So 0, I less than I is initialized with 0, I less than ar dot length minus 1, and I plus plus. So this is the for loop, students, for that. Now here swapped will be reinitialized with 0, then j equal to 0, j less than ar dot length minus I minus 1. I have already explained the reason for that. And after that, j plus plus, and then the steps for swapping. If ar of j is bigger than ar of j plus 1, then temp equal to ar of j equal to ar of j plus 1, and finally ar of j plus 1 equal to temp. Alright, and when the swapping has been performed, then swapped is to be initialized with 1. After that, student, is swapped equal to 0, then break means terminate the process, means data is already sorted. Otherwise you may continue with the next pass, which is up there. All right, and reinitialize the swap with 0. All right, so n minus 1 passes, and comparison and swap loop is here. I hope you have got a clear idea of this. And students, after that we simply display the data which has been sorted. So another loop is here. So here we give a message system.out.println sorted data is. So this will be printed. This is a print statement in Java. Students, after that loop for display 0 to ar means I equal to 0, then I less than ar dot length semicolon I plus plus. Never write minus 1 over there, because that is not meant for display. This is for display, so all the elements are to be displayed. And then system.out.println ar of I. Alright, so finally we close the curly brace. Now students, you can see how the main function will be written for this. So one array is here, created, declared, created, and initialized in the same line. So int a square bracket equal to 75, 70, 73, 55 and 5 data elements are there. Students, here now semicolon, and after that b sort ob equal to new b sort 6, right? 6 is the size, right? So in this case, when we pass the size 6, right, and the data is we pass array A over there. Okay, so data is required to be sorted in this manner. All right, so data is to be sorted in this manner. Students, here b sort ob equal to new b sort 6 I have given. 6 is the data of the array which is inside the ob. But here what I am doing, I am sorting the data which is inside this A. So I have passed this array over as the parameter, and this array will be sorted, not the array which is available in the array which is the member of which is the data member of OB. Alright everyone, so I hope the process is clear to you. Main function is closed and finally the class is also closed. Thanks everyone.